everyone, welcome to the third episode of Wdym podcast. And I know it's been a lot while, it's been delayed since like a week. There has been no post out there. Been really busy with the university work and everything. But yes, we are back today with another guest, someone who's 13 years old and has a lot to say about himself. We at 18 years of age kind of have not a lot of things to say about ourselves, but this 13-year-old has a lot to talk about his tech journey, what he has achieved, and everything that is there he's been up to. And we can actually learn a lot from him. So I would really want you all to listen to him and get the learnings, get some takeaways, and it's gonna be a great experience. So yeah. So we would like to start by your introduction, Shaurya. So would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
So my name is Shaurya Gupta and I'm 13 years old. I'm currently in 7th grade in Ontario, Canada. My hobbies are I like coding and I like playing chess and I play guitar. So yeah, so that's me.
So you would love to talk about your coding journey. When did it started? How did you become such avidly interested into it?
So it all started in 2020. So me and my family, we moved to Canada in 2019. So when we moved, I felt like the homework in like classes and school was pretty easier than it was back in India. So my parents wanted to like sign me up for an extracurricular activity, and they saw like coding classes, like a free demo and stuff. So I thought give it a try, and to my surprise I liked it. And then so I continued that, but then I started to like make things and learn things on my own. Back then I had like a Lenovo laptop, so I was stuck to like web development. I couldn't really do iOS dev because you need a Mac for that. So I was making websites, watching tutorials and like learning by myself. And like when I was about 10 to like 11, I was learning by myself. And then when one day my dad bought me a MacBook Air, from then on I continued web for a few more months when until I found out about iOS development, just like scrolling on the internet and like just browsing. I found out that you can make websites for iPhone, iPad, anything related to Apple. From if you have like a Mac, you can create them. So I thought I'd give it a try. So I bought like this course off of Udemy, which I thought which was a great starter to like kickstart your journey for iOS and Swift, which is the language you use. So uh, I began making my journey for iOS development. I kept learning more about Swift, and Swift was a great language since it was like a mix of JavaScript and it had like type casing and everything, which was nice. And so yeah, from then on, I began learning JavaScript and web, and at the same time, I was learning about iOS development. So that's like my coding journey.
So you have started from web development first, right?
Yeah. And I still
Yeah.
do web development. I'm learning like Next.js and everything.
Okay. So as you said, you have moved to Canada. So were you living in India beforehand? Your origin is from India.
I was living in India since when I was 8 years old, when my parents decided to move to Canada. So yeah,
So your origin is from India.
India.
Okay, okay, great. That's great to
So, do you get time like in between your studies? You're 13 years old. You are, probably juggling between your school work and then homework that you get, projects, summers, in the summer vacations also. So, don't you find it difficult, the coding part, handling all of that, and then your schoolwork?
Not really, because that's the reason. Because in India, you have like a lot more school pressure that students are not really able to spend as much time in extracurricular as they are in like Canada. Because I noticed that there isn't that much homework or that much stress on students, which it might be a lot more stress in like higher grades, but right now it wasn't. So my parents thought that as an opportunity, so they decided to like add some skills, and I'm still doing coding and I can balance school because there isn't much homework, first of all, and school is easy. School is not that hard in Canada as it was in India, because in India they gave you like homework every vacation in your summer vacation, because in Canada you have no homework or anything in summer vacation, so like you can focus on what you're passionate about and what you
Okay,
enjoy.
that's right. So as you said, you were learning online coding in the beginning, right? So could you tell some sources who was the main person who inspired you get into coding? They're probably that one person that we all look up to. Like for me, it was like probably you met him, Marcus Brownlee. I was very keen into tech because of him. Is there any one particular person for you?
Well, so it was like I had a coding teacher when I started my web development. She she like taught me like the basics of HTML, CSS, how to like make variables and like everything from the ground up. She taught me to like when I was like, the level of like between intermediate and beginner, which when I knew that I was confident in making like a single web page which had like text elements, and from then on I decided to go on my own. And there's so many resources online that you're not alone. If you're stuck, go to Stack Overflow, and now there's even AI to like help you every step along the way.
So probably you have started your coding journey, very early, as I must say, because we all in India, especially people started in 11th grade because we only get leverage in that grade to do the CS part because that comes as a subject for us. But you started it alongside your main subjects in school. That's great to hear. And I would really like to know what are programming languages are you aware of?
Okay, so I started off with like JavaScript, but then in the middle, before Swift, before the iOS development, and after web, I tried out Unity, because I thought it was like cool. So I was on YouTube learning, it was C sharp, I think, for Unity. Um, so I was trying to learn it. I was trying to make like a Angry Birds clone, but it was the language for Unity. It was a bit complicated for me, and I couldn't really understand like the sprites and everything at that time. It was maybe because I wasn't at that level yet, or I wasn't into game development, but the Swift seemed like a right fit for me because it was it was not too complex, and at the same time you could do a lot with it, because in Swift you have seen like how many applications there are on the App Store which do so many different tasks. You can even make games with the Sprite Kit. You can make 3D games and everything. So I'm aware of mostly Swift and JavaScript, but I haven't tried Python. However, I am thinking of maybe using Python to for like robotics and everything later on. So
Because you came on Swift, let's talk about the Swift challenge that you won. Would you like to tell the audience about it?
so the Swift Student Challenge, I knew about the challenge since I was 12, like last year. I knew about it, but I couldn't really apply because the minimum age was 13 or above. So I waited till next year, and when they were like accepting submissions, then my dad told me that maybe I should like start building my application, because the the deadline for the submissions was the end of February, and since my birthday was like in the start of February, so I would like turn 13 when I submitted the project. So I began working on it like start of January. And first we had to think of an idea, and I was looking at other people's ideas to like get something that I maybe wanted to do. And then I found out that I wanted to make something that would like teach people something. At first I was thinking like math and everything, like teaching them about circles like pi and everything, but my dad suggested that if we can, learn, I can make something about the Newton's laws of motion, since that was something that I also knew only a little bit. I didn't know about it that much. So that's why I started making that app. It's called Physics. And when I started making it, I had a lot of bumps across the way, like challenges in the middle. But like everything, I got over them and kept doing it. Uh, so my app is basically about the three laws of motion. It teaches those three laws of motion in interactive way with like a small mini simulation with each of them, which actually shows you how important these laws can be in your real life. So if someone asks like, when are we going to use the laws of motion in real life, you can say that, for every rocket that launches into space, you have to keep in mind that the laws of motion will be in effect everywhere in the universe. So this is something that we're surrounded by. In my Swiss student challenge, I did not think that I would get accepted because it was like my first time applying, and I saw other people project and I was like, their project is so much better than mine. Like I'm not gonna get selected. But when the time came, I checked the website and I was really happy that I got, selected for it. So yeah, that was my Swiss student challenge, and I got these AirPod Maxes for it. So.
That's great actually. Whenever in my case also, even when I build projects, I look up to everyone else's project and I feel like, is there something that I'm missing? Because everybody has their own concept in their mind and they are building their own things. But I feel your concept was like very, ordinary one, will say. The ordinary concept, the most, the correct word would be the concept that we all tend to overlook. That's very ordinary one, the Newton laws of motion, and you try to explain them and you got accepted. It's like the most interesting part. And I feel, putting out just the smallest of the things and the most important things. Obviously everybody knows the importance of Newton laws of motion, and I guess that's how you won. And would you like to talk about, you met Tim Cook and everyone, so would you like to talk about that also?
Okay. Oh, that one I wasn't. So when I got accepted for the Swift Student Challenge, I wasn't a distinguished winner. So they picked like 350 students, and out of the 350, 50 of them are distinguished, meaning that Apple will like give them their like they'll pay them for their flight and their stay at WWDC, and they get like and they can go to WWDC. But I was like one of the other 300, in which there's like a random draw held, in which they pick like a few students to invite them to WWDC, but they don't cover their like price, like flight prices or like a stay. So I got selected in that random draw as well to WWDC, which I was really excited about. And then when I came to to San Francisco, I went to the check-in, which was on June 9th, in which I met like a lot of people, the other students. But the main event was on June 10th, the main WWDC. So so me and my dad, we went to the main event, and there we watched the event and everything. And then I went like outside with my dad's phone to like take pictures with some people that I maybe saw on the way. And I met Tim Cook. He was like talking to students and everything. There was like a huddle around him. And so everybody was taking pictures with him. So I went along and I took a picture too. Right. And I also met MKBHD. I met Marcus Brownlee and I took picture with him. And so that was the event. It wasn't like a big thing that I met Tim. I didn't like talk to him or anything. It was just like, a nice picture. Like I met him, I shook his hand. Talk to him or anything. It was just like, a nice picture. Like I met him, I shook his hand.
Yeah, I didn't had any conversation with them.
No, I talked to him. Like he said, it's good to see. I was like, yeah.
That's great. But you met, that's a bigger thing, right? You met them, you got to experience.
It was my first time. I was not expecting, because whenever I saw WWDC online, I was like, I could never be one of those people like watching it in person. So like
That's
going there is like a big achievement itself.
So looking forward to much more challenges in future probably now, right?
Yeah.
That's great. So would you like to talk about what's next in your journey? What do you look forward to?
So I look forward to so recently I like signed up for this like this hackathon, you can call it. It's called like it's Nights and Weekends season 5 by Buildspace.
Okay, I'm also in there. We'll connect there. I'm also in there.
I'm also
Nice.
in that.
Yeah, so like right now I'm focusing on that, and I'm building like a website using Next.js. I'm not too fluent in Next.js yet, but this is going to be a learning opportunity when I'm going to learn new frameworks to like enhance my web development journey. So yeah, I'm trying to, refine my web, and then I'm going to focus more on Swift and publishing. Like right now I'm trying to publish my app that I submitted for Swift Student Challenge onto the App Store. So I just have to get my submission ready, then I'm going to submit it to like the App Store.
Yeah, I also have some projects in my mind in the build space. I guess that's a best opportunity that everyone can get in the summer vacations, right? You must be enjoying your summer vacations being a part of that.
Today is
No,
good.
I already started working on my project. So
Okay. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So you seem to be very keen, tech enthusiast and everything, right? I probably see you as a future something in that only, tech something, right? Do you also see yourself something in that only? Something in tech field?
yeah, I definitely I'm gonna be in tech after this. I'm gonna be in like I don't really think about what I'm gonna be. I just, think about right now and how I can, do the best and learn as much things as I can right now. Because there's no point of thinking about what you're gonna be in the future if you're not ready right now.
Ah, that's great. That's great. That's the mindset everybody should live upon. Because if we focus on present, future is gonna get built itself. So you've been keeping up with the tech, everything that's happening in the tech industry lately?
Yeah, I keep up like on Twitter, aka X.
Yeah. So you know about what's happening in AI these days. OpenAI, what's that company been doing? You probably have heard, WWDC in WWDC what is happening in Apple. How is it integrating AI and everything?
Yeah, I'm really
Yeah.
I'm really excited what happened in WWDC and with AI, Apple Intelligence, and I'm looking forward to using the Apple Intelligence features in my apps, like the image generation and the Genmoji that they announced and everything, and the Siri to like using, so Siri can do a lot of things in your app, like actions. So really,
Now Siri has integrated Chat GPT into it. So yeah, that's
yeah, Siri has ChatGPT, and Siri can if you code your app properly, then Siri can, take actions in your app when the user says something in natural language, which can be really cool to see in action.
all the tech enthusiasts out there have been keeping up with the tech news lately because there's a lot been happening in tech, the AI revolution and everything. And the one thing that it assures us is that we will be laid back if we are not keeping up with AI. And it's going to be really beneficial for you because you have started really early,
Learning
Yeah.
and everything.
and I'm also at a learning stage like you. But honestly, in the whole conversation, it didn't feel like that I was talking to a 13-year-old, and kudos to you for that. And I mean, because you are starting really, early, I would really suggest you to take CS50 by Howard too, because it's like something which is really good for starters in this tech field, and I am really enjoying it. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard about from Harvard, like it's their coding from like I think it's free online, isn't it?
Yeah, it's free. It's free. So your future plans and something we can know about probably in the end of this. Something about your future plans.
My future plans, as I told you, I want to continue and be like advanced in Swift and Web. I want to make these two like my main languages, like my main skills, and build products to like help people and like build like use new features and AI, uh, and find the good in them, and to like teach people something or like make their lives
That's great. That's great. All the tech enthusiasts must build out there because we are really skilled enough to build something good for the society and give it back to it, just like Shaurya is doing. And we really look forward to have folks like you to inspire people around. I mean, we do not expect this from a 13-year-old, but yeah, I really congratulate you for WWDC and all of your achievements that you're gonna have in your future. And thank you so much for coming. I mean, it was a great conversation and I got to learn a lot. I hope the audience got to learn a lot and you had a great time too.
Thank you for
Anisha.
having me. Yeah.
Thank you.
For coming, and thank you to the audience for listening. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. It was a short and crisp episode with a 13-year-old developer already. I mean, there was so much to learn from him. He's no less than an inspiration for all of us. And we really look forward to have folks like him in the future. So stay tuned for something really, really exciting coming up. And to keep learning in the future, keep tuning in to Wdym podcast.